Reddit. I would be looking everywhere. Like, what the fuck is wrong with Anthem? Do I have a problem with my PS4? Can this mess up a Pro? Blah blah blah. And then, you know, I would take 2 minutes to read the internet and decide, oh, I guess that game's not worth it.
A couple other articles from this, a couple other quotes from this article specifically. Another user said, quote, "The console powers down and will not power on using the normal method of pressing the PS4 button on the controller. It is the same as if someone pulled the plug without properly shutting the hardware down or if the power went out in the house. Sometimes
It does get
the
really
button
mad
in
about
front
that.
of the console works. Other times I have to unplug the console and pull it back in." Another person said this, PSA to any Anthem players on the PlayStation that experience complete shutdown of their consoles: stop playing. The Mad Titan Gauntlet posted on Reddit last night, quote, "My PlayStation has become completely bricked to the point of not even turning on because of Anthem."
That's insane.
And he is
Also, with
not
how
the only
many
person
with
saying
how many
that.
limited edition PlayStation 4s there are, and the fact that their like warranty program isn't really the best, that's just risky. Just don't. I wouldn't even bother.
If it was just one user saying it, okay, maybe the PlayStation.
And so far, there is only one guy who said that their system was bricked, but there's plenty of people saying that it's being forced shut down all the time.
A couple of anecdotal incidents of people going, "No, my system is now bricked," because if the glitch is causing like an improper shutdown, you could fuck up the boot process.
Yeah, it's true.
So I if it indeed is the game, and it sounds like it is Anthem causing these problems, there's enough anecdote. We haven't seen anything official yet, but there's enough anecdotal evidence here to suggest this is happening. In fact, Schreier himself says he fell asleep playing Anthem. A lovely dig at Anthem there, by the way. And when he came back on, his system was also shut off. And he didn't think twice about it until he realized he had to power it up, and then he reads all this going on. So there is an issue to the point where EA themselves took to their Twitter to say that they are aware of the crashing issue some of you have been reporting for Anthem game. We're investigating and ask that you share crash data reports when prompted. If you have, we'll be reaching out to gather info. If not, please reply to this thread here, and they give a link.
Yep.
Fallout 70...
Also, small correction before we get too deep into this,
okay.
Because I know like one fucking person on YouTube is going to be like, "You assholes are improperly crediting Ethan Gash, who actually wrote the article."
Oh shit! I thought Jason Schreier wrote this.
No, he mentioned it on Twitter, but Ethan actually wrote it. So I wanted to say that.
I am so sorry, Ethan Gash.
Yeah, dude. Gak? I don't know.
G-A-C-H.
Yeah, nailed it.
I am so sorry. I got the link from Jason. I thought he was the one that wrote it. So, yes.
Gak Attack.
Right. Thank you for clarifying that. I apologize, Ethan.
I just don't want to be wrong on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, kid, it never forgets. Fallout 76 had a myriad of issues, ranging from the game itself being just horrendously buggy to its bad marketing. But
to the fact that it poorly performs on most systems.
To my knowledge, Anthem or Fallout 76 did not have the potential to physically bust your system.
No, the game was busted, but it didn't break hardware.
If it is causing your PlayStation 4 to do a hard stop like this, as I mentioned earlier, it can, and if given enough time, it will lock systems.
Yep.
There's a reason.
I'm just wondering what's causing it. If it's just not utilizing the system resources properly, and it's just making the system overheat, or what? Because I'm getting like weird flashbacks to the Yellow Light of Death from PS3.
Yeah, the scuttlebutt is because Anthem works the PlayStation 4 so hard, it's causing it to overheat.
I've also heard that the fans on the system go completely overtime when you play Anthem.
Yes.
Like a lot of the newer games are making the base edition PlayStation 4s, which the person who submitted that their console was bricked was playing on a base PS4, not a Pro. It's working overtime to get this game running.
Mm-hmm.
And part of Sony's whole thing is every game that works on PS4 Pro has to work on PS4. And if you're bricking one and not the other, your game doesn't work.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Coco says his PS4 sounds like Jet. Mine's older. Mine's almost a launch PlayStation 4, definitely about within the first year, and it's starting to sound like it's wearing its age too. If we weren't so close to new consoles coming out, I'd probably buy a Pro.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a PS4, so I just bought a Pro when it came out.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Introspect in chat says, makes him cautious to feel like, makes me cautious to launch it again, even though I'm on Xbox One X. I totally understand. Most of these problems
Yeah.
are coming from the PlayStation 4. I believe we've had one or two about the Xbox. I can't confirm that, though. I need to go deeper into the article. But it seems to be mainly a PS4 problem. People are demanding refunds. Sony is very stingy with refunds, but there once again are anecdotal stories of Sony just issuing out refunds, which to me, given how stingy Sony is when it comes to the refund, means they probably realize something is fucking wrong here.
That's a big deal because they're going to turn around and say, "Hey EA, you owe us however much money for these refunds. Like we're not eating this, you are."
That will all get worked out behind the scenes. I don't know how that works because they could just say, "Hey, it's a bug in the PlayStation's BIOS that interacts with Anthem poorly." So we don't until we know where the bug is.
I doubt it. If I can run 99 of 100 games that have been released for PlayStation with absolutely no issues, and there's one that breaks it, I would lean more towards it being that game and not the system.
Don't get me wrong. I also think it's just the game itself. What I'm saying is, if it gets down to Sony demanding money, that's the kind of questions you're going to have to start asking in a legal court. Yeah, Coco, that's another thing too. How many consoles are like past warranty if this thing bricks or not? And once again, I want to stress clearly, we only have one reported issue of it bricking. So, and a couple of anecdotal ones I'm seeing on the internet, but no like detailed, hey, this is what happened. There's the one detailed post that goes, this is what caused my console to brick. And then a lot of other people going, oh, mine too, without really giving anything extra on top. But the actual hard power reset here is definitely something that is happening. And to the point where EA stepped in and said, hey, what's going on here? It's just, how is it, David, that it seems over the past 4 or 5 months, the AAA games industry has just taken a fucking nosedive off a cliff when it comes to quality?
It's kind of funny, actually. It's been making me laugh.
I know people are going to say, oh, quality has been going down for years, but and you can make that case.
No. I'm sorry. Last year in gaming was fucking amazing. By March last year, we had some just fantastic
God
titles.
of War was amazing. Spider-Man was amazing. But let's take a look at some of the other bigger launches. For example, Battlefield 5, who still doesn't have its Battle Royale mode yet. Fallout 76, Anthem, Crackdown 3, which came out like a fucking hot fart.
You're talking about this year, right? Not last year?
I'm talking about the last 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
So end of 2018 up till now.
Gotcha.
It has been just a ridiculous series of either games or fundamentally broken ones. Like, or in the case of Battlefield 5, missing features it was supposed to ship with, like the Battle Royale mode.
Yeah,
Fallout 76, broken. Anthem, broken. Crackdown 3, broken. These are supposed to be major, like, this is shit we expect from, like, your B-tier level studio, not your AAA Bethesda,
Except for the B-tier guys are killing it.
Except what?
The B-tier guys are killing it. The AAA guys are too busy firing everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Something has happened over the past 6 months, and I don't know what it is. Have we finally just hit critical mass to where game publishers and developers are trying to release shit as fast as humanly possible and constantly trying to catch the newest trend and get their product out before everyone else does? Have we got to the point where game development takes so long to get all these graphical powerhouses out that they can't realistically meet investors' needs, and so they're launching shit a year earlier than they should be?
I think
what's going
the
on?
investors and shareholders are more mixed in with the development process than they've ever been. These companies are worth shit tons of money because people started to notice that the game industry
significantly overvalued, in my opinion.
Yes,
significantly overvalued. There's a reason why I don't own any stock in any major video company,
including their CEOs.
I could get on that into more nuance because that report you're talking about that I saw right there is counting things like bonus and it without. I can't get into it without going to 10-minute time rate, so I'm not going to.
Oh, I just meant there's a part in if you don't know what we're talking about, there's an article about overpaid CEOs, and a couple of game company guys are on it. And the only part I'm going to bring up is the fact that it compared their income to the proposed worth they bring to the company, and there is disparities.
And that is the problem.
Take from that whatever you want.
That is the problem, because the income that they're listing actually isn't their income. The person who wrote that article has no clear idea of how finances work.
And that's fair. I'm just saying, you can take, well, let's be real, you can take whatever the fuck you want from any news article because it's America and you don't have to listen to the laws or facts.
Yeah.
But the big thing is, since no one's busy looking at facts or laws, investors are being told.
Side thing here.
No, I can bring this back. Investors are being told by studio execs or board of directors or people in charge of the game company that our company is worth X. We're going to have this release, and this is what we're going to jump to. But the gamers, which we've addressed a million times, don't have enough fucking time to play everything, and they tend to pick 2 to 3 games they really like. Most gamers don't buy every new fucking AAA game that comes out. They buy like their favorite once a year. They probably play, and then they probably play 1 or 2 series for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
At this point, I will play a new game every once in a while, but I still end up going back to Warframe and Rocket League.
That's part of it. I sense a bubble approaching when it comes to your EAs and Activisions and Bethesda's.
It does feel like the $60 AAA game that are mass-produced yearly releases are about to hit the wall, because there is still God of War, there is still Resident Evil, there are still like diamonds in the rough. It's just that at this point you can't see all the great games, and even then we can go back and talk about Far Cry 5 and the fact that not everybody loves that game, but that game still sold amazing because that is actually just a solid AAA game.
Yeah, but even
what have you heard about?
Go ahead.
Well, but I'm saying you can dislike the story, you can dislike the mechanics, but it's just like any other Far Cry game. It's sold great. How many issues have you heard about that game? Is that breaking consoles?
Not many. No.
Does that have a shit ton of bugs? No, it's just a well-produced.
I did the review on Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn. If you want me to get nitpicky, I can show you some of the bugs, especially when it comes to the AI.
And that's fair, but
there's no
more or less,
issues.
It's a decently polished game.
Yeah.
And we're hitting that point where that experience from the AAA industry is fewer and far between. We have way too many of these rushed out, had to make the deadline, had to hit the end of the fiscal year. We just shit out a game. This is what you get, and this is what you have to deal with. We'll fix it in post. And that's just become like the rallying cry. It'll get better. People will stick around. People will keep spending money on it.
Yeah, tell that to evolve.
God damn, that game went free to play, and I tried to play it, and then I got mad that it wasn't as good as the fucking beta was. I loved that game in beta. I was so sold on it, and then I saw their pricing structure.
So it's a combination of that, but you also have this nonstop chasing of trends that's going on too. Like back to Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn. You know what those games do have though? Live service elements. Log on to do this mission. Show up on this expedition, a New Dawn with friends, and they keep adding all this new shit to it. No game ever dies. Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origin, to keep with the Ubisoft theme here, both have those live service events where it's like, hey, exclusive mission this 1 week. Come fight the Trials of the Gods, or whatever the hell they were called. It's all designed to suck up more time because they're all chasing that I don't want to say Fortnite mantra, because the games were doing it before Fortnite came out, but that's the one that kind of made it all big, where it's like every couple weeks, here's something new. And it's that constant chasing and that feeling of we have to get shit out now and we'll just fucking catch up later.
Yep.
You can't lead from behind.
It's like the Bethesda go-to that they've done forever. Like, here's this giant game that we didn't have enough time to play test because we had to release it. We'll fix it later. And I mean, one of their games is on the list, obviously, but it's become the norm, which is weird.
Fallout 76 needed another year or 2 in development. It didn't get it because they had to push it out to get that live service money. Because
Anthem could have taken another 6 months.
Yeah, the budget gets so bloated on this stuff. Anyways,
also, dude, let's just talk about, because we talk about hypotheticals and the fact that the game's release schedule is so fucking fixed, and how like February, March has become the new fall season because games had to spread themselves out because there's too many damn video games. What if Anthem came out in June?
Yeah.
How do you think that game would have sold in the middle of summer?
You know why Anthem
when there's
came
no
out?
fucking video games. I know it came out because it had to come out before April because that's the end of the fiscal year, and EA had to have something to show shareholders. I know that for a fact.
There's that quote.
What if they had just fucking waited?
There's that quote going around with the EA executive essentially saying, we don't ship games based on how ready they are. We ship them based on numbers or something like that.
Yep. Absolutely.
I can't remember what it is.
There's also that bullshit quote of, "Oh yeah, we could have released in the fall, no problem. We didn't need to push it. We just pushed it so that the release cycle wouldn't be too crowded."
Bullshit. You released Apex Legends the week before it came out.
EA is just poorly managed.
I do want to address Introspect in the chat here. He says, on a side note, I think the Division 2 open beta is pretty great, and that's coming from someone who's never played the first one. Full disclosure, I'm reasonably friendly with the Ubisoft guys. I get invited to a lot of their stuff, so take what I'm saying as a grain of salt. I think so far the Division 2 of all these live services games is the best looking one of all of them. It feels like a complete game. And I think that is going to be the one that actually sticks around. Because I think Anthem.
That's why I said I legitimately hope that they release that game and it just comes out perfect and polished and ready to play and has content. And then all these other games are just like, oh shit, is that how we're supposed to do that? As gamers flock to Division.
Because
like there's not another one. There's not another one on the horizon, and I just really hope that Ubisoft pulls it off.
Right. I like the Division 2. I've played both the open beta, the closed beta, and a behind the scenes event, which some of the stuff hasn't been revealed yet there.
You fancy.
I'm not trying to name drop. I'm just saying I've played a lot of I've seen a lot more of the content of the Division 2 than your average person has seen. And I really like it so far. And that was a month and a half ago. This game still doesn't come out for another 3 or 4 weeks. So yeah, I'm kind of all in on the Division 2. And I'm looking forward to it when it comes out. Let's see. Introspect says, I was actually going to buy Anthem, but after all these issues and playing the beta for Division 2, I think I'll get my purchase on launch. I still like Anthem, but I think I may wait to see if they fix the issues first. I'm kind of in that same boat. I want Anthem to do good. Don't get me wrong. Anthem has such potential to be good.
I legit enjoy the gameplay of Anthem.
Yeah.
I really want to fucking like that game. I want to play it, and I want to love it, but I just can't see myself spending $60 on it right now.
Yeah, exactly. In 6 months, Anthem could be a game worth taking a look at. But right now, especially if it's bricking your console, don't. I have to actually actively say, don't even try it out on the Game Pass or whatever EA has. Just don't play it until this issue gets resolved. It is not worth the risk. Disco King in chat. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm still just worried for Bethesda because if everyone just abandons it, then they might just get closed before the game has a chance to get any good.
You mean,
but we'll see.
You mean BioWare?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just making sure. Because that'd be a bitch if Bethesda got shut down because that's when BioWare did.
Who knows what happens in the industry nowadays, anyway.
And Disco King in chat, referencing the Division, the first one, says, it just felt like he was playing the same mission over and over again. I get it. I absolutely understand. The first Division was rough. And that seems to be an Ubisoft thing, right? The first Assassin's Creed, kind of rough, kind of hard to go back to. Second one, an amazing game. First Watch Dogs, kind of lame. Watch Dogs 2, pretty goddamn amazing. They seem to be the king of going, let's try this new IP. Let's see if it works. Okay, that didn't work. Rather than tucking it out, let's actually make a sequel that has everything that fixes in the first one. And so far for Division 2, from what I have played, keeping in mind any biases that might pop up that I've addressed earlier, I am really looking forward to it. And I think I'm going to sink a lot of time into it. So just...
Oh shit, I could have been playing the Division 2 open beta like this last weekend.
Yeah.
Fuck. We're a bad show because apparently that went on and ends today. God damn it.
Don't know.
I forgot to set a reminder because I did want to play that game. Oh well.
So yeah, there is... To sum up, Anthem might be bricking consoles. It has at the very least causing it to hard shut down. Do not
Which can't be good
if you're on a PlayStation 4. No, it's not good. There's a reason why it says, hey, this was shut down improperly.
Mm-hmm.
So be aware of that. And this just leads into the greater overall disappointment, it seems, from a lot of AAA games over the past 6 months. And starting from, I'd say, Battlefield 5 until today. Something has happened. And all these big games that have no excuses not to be amazing has completely and totally just shit the bed. Anyways, let us know what you think down below. If you have had an issue with Anthem, please, relating to this topic. I know we all have issues with Anthem right now for playing it. If you have an issue with Anthem relating to your console shutting down, be it on PlayStation 4, Xbox, PC, please let me know down in the comments below, and I will try to see if other people are having this issue, get some more information about it out there. David.
Yeah.
It's enough about Anthem.
It is enough about Anthem.
Let's talk about the next story. Why don't you lead us off on this, because you know more about this than I do.
Which is funny, because I know a vague fucking amount about this, but let's go. This last week, on the 27th, we had the new Nintendo Direct. This was specifically the Pokemon Direct. And we were introduced to the worlds of Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, which will be released whenever they're fucking done, which I'm assuming is going to be sometime in the fall. For the Switch, dude, we gotta switch Pokemans. Finally. This is the...
And an actual 8th generation Pokemon as well.
Yep, this is the 8th generation Pokemon. Like I said, late 2019, fall, probably.
I'd wager October. Most Pokemon games have come in October, though. However, this last 7th gen, what was it?
Sun and Moon?
Sun and Moon, whatever it was. That was in November. By the way, hey, Soars, how you doing? I love that goddamn emote, by the way. Big fan of it. So thank you for showing up to chat.
All right. This guy loves emotes. Sword and Shield will take place in the Galar region, a large, narrow expanse of land, and one of the many regions in the Pokemon world. I don't know fuck all about the Pokemon world. Apparently there's a bunch of places to go. The region itself and its many landmarks appear to be heavily inspired by Great Britain. It's got a clock tower and a palace that look like Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament.
If you look at the conceptual art map, by the way, it looks like Great Britain flipped upside down.
Yeah, that's fair. This is, by far, the best-looking Pokemon game I've ever seen.
Yep. It definitely
hands down. It looks great. The one thing that I'm seeing kind of negative is that it looks like they're bringing back like the random battles in the overworld. Let's be real. I don't play RPGs anymore because I don't have fucking time for them. Random overworld battles are not interesting and not fun as a gameplay mechanic to me, a person with limited time.
Here's the thing about that. For the longest time, people bitched about random overworld battles. And then they changed it. And then people bitched about them changing it. So they changed it back. And now
turns out a lot of people were wrong when they wanted to go back to the old ways. Old things are dead, long live the future. And being able to see monsters and run into them is more fun than just getting a random, oh shit, I gotta throw down with something screen again. But we also got a chance to look at the new starters, all of which have stupid-ass fucking names and look completely ridiculous. We got Grookey, which is some kind of monkey that's a grass type. We've got Score Bunny. God damn, who the fuck? It's like they just asked little kids to name pictures of shit. It's a rabbit with fire ears, I guess. And Sobble, which, I don't know. He's some kind of soggy... lizard. He's some kind of soggy land animal. Fucking, I don't know. He's a water type. And, yeah, it's Pokemon. We get more Pokemon. It'll probably be lots of fun to people who like Pokemon. The first Pokemon game I ever played was Pokemon Y, because literally everyone I knew was playing Pokemon. For the first time in my life, I had no one to play video games with. So I said, fuck it. Whatever. I'll buy this goddamn Pokemon game and play it with you people. I proceeded to find something that looked like a honey badger and beat the entire game with it, and that is my entire Pokemon experience.
That is more than I've ever had. My Pokemon experience can be summed up with a couple weeks playing Pokemon Go with the wife, and that's about it. Introspect, I do like the idea of Pokemon Mortal and Pestle coming 2028. That sounds like a good set of names for them. I do know, so we're talking a lot of shit about Pokemon because neither one of us are fans. This is information that people have been wanting for a while now, though, because there are a lot of hardcore Pokemon fans who have been going since the Switch came out. Hey, where's our new Pokemon? Where's our new Pokemon? Because the Switch just now turned 2, and we really don't have much solid information to go on.
This will sell a fuck ton of Switches.
Yeah,
hands down.
That week when it comes out, that is the best-selling game that week, period. End of story. Nothing else is going to come close.
I'm going to say it's the best-selling game for 3 weeks. Unless there's like some...
Oh, it's going to be for longer than that.
Yeah. I'm just saying, unless like fucking Death Stranding comes out the week after it or something.
That game's not... That game ain't until 2020.
I'm just saying, man. I want to believe.
Nope. So, Pokemon information coming out, Sword and Shield on the little 7-minute direct that happened last week.
Also, Disco nails it in chat. I have one tent, no save point in sight, and have to run through 5 screens with no health. Hope I didn't get into a random encounter. Gets into 100. Trying to level up, loaded for bear, runs back and forth for 30 minutes, gets in one fight.
Yeah, that is the problem when you have random encounters.
Yeah, I'm just going to run into the screen that always has a bunch of enemies on it and then run into the enemy. How is that not a better system? Oh, whatever.
I don't necessarily hate random encounters, but you could definitely make the argument that it is a...
Random encounters in 2019 are here to pad gameplay and always have been.
No, not always have been. A random encounter was a limitation of the hardware at the time because they had to use essentially... To queue up enemies attacking you, they couldn't put it on the map.
Since I've been intelligently able to play video games, always have been.
I'm not even going to say that either, because you were intelligent enough to play Final Fantasy VI, and the random encounters in that game are based on things like number of steps and the internal game clock or some shit like that. So it was a way to get around the technical limitations of showing multiple things on the screen at once. So that's why we had random encounters to begin with. Now,
Fine.
These days,
I'll be wrong on
that shit. These days, having random encounters is a holdover of when you had to do that.
I'm just saying I don't like it.
Fair enough. I know what you do like, though.
Let's fucking talk about it, man. I am so goddamn proud of these fucking people. I'll let you talk about it, though. I'm not going to just take it.
So,
from you.
Anthem wasn't the only game that EA dropped over the past few weeks. As we know, there's this little thing called Apex Legends that came out. You and I both got our first win on that over the weekend, by the way.
Fuck yeah, we did.
And it's been doing really, really good. So good, in fact, that it hit 50 million players, a feat that Fortnite took 16 weeks just to hit 45 million on. That is how fucking huge Apex Legends has been. Respawn has put out this cheeky little montage of like 1.8 million pings and 50 million deaths or whatever.
Dude, if you haven't seen that little video, it's incredibly well put together, and you definitely need to take a look at it.
Nice jab at the Mozambique.
Yeah, dude. Coco, thanks for hanging out. See you next time.
Coco, man, thank you for showing up. You all have a good night. So, yes, 50 million people concurrently playing Apex Legends at once. Very impressive numbers. They also kind of started to show off their information, their roadmap for what the future holds. I'm going to go ahead and break up this infographic here so you guys can take a look at it. Here is the Apex Legends Year 1 roadmap, complete with Battle Pass. So, what is a Battle Pass? Well,
a Battle Pass is a thing where you can spend some money and you slowly unlock content by playing the video game. It's a way to both get you to spend money and to keep you playing the video game, which will encourage you to spend more money because future.
It is supposed to launch this month, by the way, in March, as we can see right here, but there is no firm price or release date on it yet. As you can see, they have various seasons coming, every 2.5 months, it looks like here, maybe 3 months, with new legends, weapons, new loot. And this is what's going to be in the Battle Pass from what I can understand. However, I don't think this is going to be everything that comes out for Apex Legends. I think this is just the gated stuff behind a paywall. I think that we are still going to get map updates a la Fortnite. I think we're still going to get events a la Fortnite. In fact, they have to have those to stay competitive. Fortnite set that bar. Also, Coco for Tacos brings up a good stat. It says it took 3 years for Siege to hit 65 million players. So, something good to know as well. It went quick.
Yep, and Fortnite took 16 weeks to hit 45. Again, Apex is like crushing all the Battle Royale records.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Crushing a lot of records just outside of Battle Royale either, as with how fast it's going.
Dude, and I'm so happy that it's Respawn. God damn. Okay, I loved Titanfall. I loved Titanfall 2. That game got royally fucked over just by release window. So, yep. I guess it's a weird, like, retro fuck you to EA. Anthem is getting slammed. And it's by one of EA's own games, but it's Respawn getting the win this time, getting that "You Are the Champion" screen.
Felt good.
And
felt good when we got it. We got it twice that night, by the way.
I'm just fucking so stoked for Vince and the boys. Like, goddamn, I love Modern Warfare 2, and this game is just terrific. It really is.
It is damn good. There is a little bit of controversy, of course, being Battle Pass, that people are afraid it might segregate the community. No idea if you have to pay for the Battle Pass to get the heroes, if it can be unlocked
So
via
the
normal
big
currency.
thing that I remember from one of the earlier like day 1, day 2 press releases is that they weren't going to block off content in a way to segregate the playing community. Like heroes and maps and shit should be just DLCs for everyone, from what I understand. But like
I get the
all
feeling
the
that
cosmetics,
as far as I
like
think they're going to
they're
go the Rainbow Six route with heroes, right? Where
yeah,
they'll
you can
introduce
you
two
can
new
earn it.
heroes,
You can earn it with in-game
through playing
currency.
a lot, or just buy premium currency, go from there, or buy the Battle
Yeah,
Pass and get it for free.
yeah.
That's my gut. That's how they're going to handle new heroes,
And guess what? I don't really have an issue with the way Siege does things.
right?
Besides their fucking like weird cheap edition that sucks ass. But luckily Apex starts free, so
Cosmetics, however, are going to be a hard sell for Battle Pass because you really don't see anything in Apex Legends. You're not looking at your own character. You can kind of see part of your gun. So it's not like Overwatch where there's a lot of third-person camera stuff going on in Overwatch.
dude, you're missing the point entirely. It's a first-person shooter. The entire point is to kill somebody while being as stylish as fucking possible.
Fair enough. I never got.
If
to
I'm running
cosmetics
around
anyways.
and I get my ass kicked by some dude who's dressed as like a fucking pink unicorn, I know that I just got my ass kicked by some fucking dude who's dressed as a pink unicorn. That
Fair
is
enough.
why that shit exists.
But
I'm
going
still
back
down
to what you
for
were
it.
talking about how he didn't want to gate off content, that's why I don't think things like maps or anything will be included in this one, or map extensions, because once you start gating off things through your player base, you kill a game like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you split the player base, you are fucked.
Yeah, but they can always do some Fortnite shit and have random like in-game epic events that
That's what I think is
change
gonna
the
happen.
landscape.
My gut tells me that they're going to do that. I can't.
It's
I
the fucking
can't
it's the
see-
Guild Wars 2 plan, just actually leaking into other games finally.
I refuse to believe that Respawn hasn't seen how successful Fortnite has been with that, and they're just not sitting there thinking, okay, what kind of cool shit can we start sneaking into Apex Legends that the community will find out on its own.
Yep.
So we'll see how that shakes out. Battle Pass supposed to be starting up in March to kick off the first season of Apex Legends. I would imagine we would hear more details on that this time next week.
Also, Disco in chat brings up a good point that Apex has a better, like, solid foundation for competitive play as a battle royale, which hasn't really happened. I did see some competitive Fortnite and some competitive PUBG, you know, when those games were outrageously hype, and I guess Fortnite still is. But the problem is, it wasn't that interesting to me. But coming from old school, like, Call of Duty mindsets, the moment-to-moment gunplay of Apex is interesting to watch. Fast-paced game, has a lot of like mechanical skill involved, and I can easily see this like being a competitive game in the battle royale space.
Yeah. No, for sure. We'll see how it shakes out.
Although the tournaments are going to go remarkably fucking fast. you got 20 teams of 3 people all show up to a big epic tournament where they got a big prize pool, and then one of them wins in like 8 minutes.
Well, you might have some different play when you're because a lot of people play like jackasses. Even they're like, oh, we're all going to rush here. But if you got like money on the line, you might even have pros going, well, let's see if we can't try a different strat because I don't want to be one of 20 squads that land on the drop ship.
No, yeah, that's fair. I would actually be really interested to have a shit ton, like a full 60-person game of outrageously high level players.
Right.
I would watch that.
I also wouldn't be surprised if we see modes like a solo mode, for example, or duos or different team sizes come out as well. All that, of course, probably happening sometime this year. But we'll see. Can't predict the future. I can just kind of take a guess.
Yup. So one game explodes in popularity while another quietly dies.
And quietly is the part because I actually forgot this was going on.
Yeah, so this story's from Variety. The Walking Dead creators have killed off Overkill's The Walking Dead video game. So this is going to be Skybound Entertainment, which was the studio founded by David Albert and Robert Kirkman, who's the guy that did Walking Dead back in the day, terminated his contract with Starbreeze Studios. So Overkill's Walking Dead game is just fucking dead,
Now,
saying
if
it
you
didn't meet the
remember,
company standards.
Last week, I believe it was, we were saying that Starbreeze was kind of saying, no, console version hasn't been canceled. And we were
This shit's fucking done. What sucks is I was kind of hyped for Walking Dead. The idea of a like co-op, survival. Let's throw down with zombies. Built
There's
kind
a
of on the
hole in
Payday
my heart
engine.
left by Left 4 Dead that has not been
There
filled
is,
yet.
and this could be great. And they're like, let's throw in a fuck ton of AI human survivors that run at you and shoot at you with guns, literally just copying the exact Payday formula, except for the interesting part where you try and steal things.
Yeah.
What the fuck did they think was gonna happen?
That said, I am kind of looking forward to World War Z a little bit. I want to play it.
I mean, you go, you do you.
So
I'm bummed because, as always, this means a team that worked and sweat and bled for a video game are kind of fucked out of it, and it sucks. From Skybound themselves,
there's
our
some
creators,
fire to this quote, by the way, too.
our creators and their stories are the core of Skybound. And since 2014, we've worked hard to expand the world of The Walking Dead into an exceptional co-op action FPS. We did our best to work with Starbreeze and resolve many issues that we saw with the game, but ultimately, Overkill's The Walking Dead did not meet our standards, nor is it the quality that we were promised. We are exceedingly sorry to our fans and share their disappointment in the game. We remain dedicated to providing our fans with the most premium quality content we can offer, and will continue to look for alternative video game options for the IP.
That is, I mean,
Ooh.
you have the IP holder coming in and going, your game fucking sucks. Let's read that. Let's read the key part to it again. Overkill's The Walking Dead did not meet our standards, nor is the quality that we were promised.
Yep.
That is, when it comes into the world of business PR speak, that is essentially them straight up saying they fucked us. They gave us shit. And the fact that this happens not even a week after Starbreeze was saying, no, the console version is still coming, don't freak out. That company's so fucked. That company is, 6 months, 3 months, they're gone. Completely and totally.
And there's already a bunch of other shit that we've talked about Starbreeze that has just been having issues for a while now.
It is real bad for Starbreeze. And I feel bad for everyone working there. It sounds like we're going to have another round of not just even layoffs, but just straight terminations coming when that company eventually gets liquidated, like I fully expect to happen. Anyways, if you guys had a chance to play Walking Dead, Overkill's The Walking Dead specifically, let us know in the comments down below. Let us know what you're thinking of it. If it's good, if it's bad, it looks like trash to me, but you could be having a good time with it. One of my favorite games on the PlayStation 2 era was Disaster Report. That's a horrible game, so...
Hey, I fucking loved Payday 2, and I played a shit ton of that game until they decided to ruin the entire monetization structure and just put a bunch of fucking pay-to-play guns in it.
Yeah,
I don't mean pay to win, because again, that's not a competitive video game, but make the enemies so goddamn bullet spongy that if you don't pay to buy this fucking gun, you cannot clear high-level content. That's garbage.
Yeah, that was a big problem. That was kind of the beginning of the end of Starbreeze right there when that happened. Also, in respect, Generation Zero does look interesting. I might have some news on that in a week or two, so keep it tuned to the channel, or feel free to follow us on Discord, but specifically about Generation Zero. We'll see. I'm in talks. David, let's do a quick little lightning round of the next 2 or 3 stories that we have. First, Funcom Games, the makers of The Secret World and Age of Conan, have announced that they have the license to make the Dune games. Dune, D-U-N-E, based off the Frank Herbert novel. From their press release, Legendary Entertainment and Herbert Properties LLC have reached a license agreement with Funcom to develop video games based on the works of Frank Herbert's Dune, one of the best world-known science fictions in the universes. If you haven't heard, baby. There is a new movie coming out. It has one hell of a cast attached to it already. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Reports say that there are at least 3 games coming, but I haven't seen anything to confirm what's happening there. Now, when I first heard this news, David, I was a little disappointed. Because it's like, Secret World didn't do too well. Age of Conan's kind of eh. They're not really stellar games, though. But then I remembered, back in the early 90s, there was this Dune adventure game. Like, kind of like a Monkey Island almost. And it was pretty damn good. I liked it. And then I remembered Funcom made one of the greatest adventure games of all time, The Longest Journey. And now, I'm actually legitimately excited to see what they can do with this. Dune would adapt well to an MMO there, in respect, because you already have you can have multiple factions, multiple houses, all fighting on this planet. The environments will be kind of still because it's all just going to be desert, but I can definitely see them doing that, unless it's not like they're in the War of Assassins, in which case you can go from planet to planet or something like that. Anyways, you're getting way deep into Doom lore at that point. Don't worry about that. So yeah, it looks like we have at least 3 Dune games from Funcom coming. Additionally, in another story, not additionally, a completely different story. This is
Nailed it.
Gamatsu. I'm super excited for this. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Headline: Supermassive Games trademarks House of Ashes. And once again, this is via Gamatsu. Supermassive Games, the studio behind Until Dawn and the upcoming Dark Pictures Man of Medan, has trademarked House of Ashes in the United States and Europe. Man of Medan was originally announced as the first title in an anthology of titles. Although published by Bandai Namco, Supermassive owns the trademarks for Dark Pictures, Man of Medan, so it's possible that House of Ashes is the next title following the Dark Pictures Man of Medan. Fuck yes, I want Supermassive's Dark Pictures anthology to take off. I want a series of horror games in the style of Until Dawn, and I want them to pump them out like once every year. This is something I want annualized.
You just need it all the time?
Yes. Dark Ego, welcome to chat. Thanks for showing up. How did you feel about Until Dawn? Were you an Until Dawn fan?
Sure. I didn't play it. I just bought it.
Oh, you just now got it. Gotcha.
Pretty sure I have a key to that game that I got from somewhere that I never played.
It's good. Supermassive has shown that they can do what Quantic Dream does. These are guys who make Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. They showed that
I'm
they can
well
do
aware
what
of
they
Indigo
do,
Prophecy.
but better.
Oh man, I'm well aware of Indigo Prophecy, so that makes me excited. I love 2/3 of a Quantic Dream game.
Also, keep in mind that Supermassive Entertainment can officially say Until Dawn, starring Oscar winner Rami Malek.
That's pretty great, actually.
That's just a funny little thing.
Also, shout out to Mr. Robot. Woo, good job, bro.
I haven't seen it. I need to sit down and watch it. I'm told I specifically would really love it.
I just meant because he won an Oscar.
Yeah. So yes, more Supermassive games is a good thing.
All right, now let's end this shit on a fucking bummer. Let's end this in the ultimate tale of hubris. Several years ago, a little game company called Sony decided to release their second shot at a mobile console to take on the giant of Nintendo and the 3DS. And that was the PlayStation Vita, which on paper was fucking amazing. Had an OLED screen. It could play games remarkably well, better than any other handheld released. Fuck, it played games better than the Wii or probably the Wii U.
Yeah.
And yet, they decided to release almost no content for it, almost immediately abandon it for any in-house AAA development or even licensing anything out, and also stuck it with a proprietary memory card. So even though you can buy a 1 terabyte SD card for about $100, you can get the 20 gigabyte fucking Vita card for the same price. And so, after 5 years, the Vita is dead.
Now,
this is from GamesIndustry.biz. Sony is ended, for I believe at this point that it's actually officially ended,
according
the production
to the product phase
of the PlayStation Vita in Japan.
That's
and it's an 8-year-old handheld.
Get your orders in while you can. Now,
price for the Vita is about to skyrocket.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the price of the memory cards has always been fucking high, and it's always been the thing that stopped me. I've always wanted a Vita. I fucking loved my PSP. I took it everywhere with me. There's people that know me as that guy that always has a PSP. And I just couldn't justify fucking spending so much money on a goddamn memory card, especially when the system is built for you to just download games and play them on the go.
The Vita was everything I wanted in a handheld until the Switch came by and showed me that there was shit that I didn't think I'd want in the Switch.
And the craziest part is they had the fucking systems in place. You could do remote play from a PS4 to a Vita. And that shit's amazing.
There is no reason.
They just never bothered to chase it and actually work on developing it as a system.
There is no reason why the Vita should have failed. Because no one else is in the market at the same time. Well, I take that back. You had Nintendo doing their 3DS shit.
You had Nintendo doing their thing, but they were in a position
so far off the beaten path that their two markets could exist side by side and not feed into each other.
Hi, this is the handheld you get for your younger cousins and little kids, and this is the handheld you get if you're a grown-ass adult and you need to take a train to work.
and just
and play AAA
Sony,
fucking video games.
Sony fucked that console with their mind-boggling decisions of proprietary memory card. Why the fuck does it have a touchscreen on the back? We don't need that in there. How come you stop support on your own system like 6 months into it? The Vita has been in a slow death spiral for like 6 of the past 8 years, which I
mean,
know
people announced it dead a million years ago. It's just now, unfortunately, it's official.
There are only so many JRPGs and visual novels you can put on a system before you just have to give it up.
Right? Fucking A, son.
But the Vita was an amazing piece of hardware that just got railroaded, and that's a goddamn shame. And it is sad to see this console that could have been amazing go. Now, all consoles eventually die. 8 years is actually a really long time for a console to live. And it had a great run, and it had a hardcore fan base, but it could have been so much. It could have been the Switch 5 years before the Switch came out.
Yep, absolutely.
Especially with that remote play shit. If they just would have put the time and the R&D and not made so many boneheaded decisions, it could have been great. But here we are.
Oh, and sorry, I had to do a quick price check. The 64 gigabyte Vita card is the one that's $100.
Okay. It is.
Yeah,
it's good to have that information.
That's right. It's $60 for a 32 gig stick.
If you want
That's
one,
fucking joke.
buy them now, because they are about to become collector's items. I use that term
Yep.
loosely.
Absolutely.
David, if
Yes.
I wanted to play a Vita game, a new Vita game, I'd have to wait a
can't.
very, very long time.
You'd have to really wait for that point where it becomes a retro console and you get that random like group of 5 friends that want to make their own video game, and then they sneak release it and they're like, it's the last Vita game ever, like the Dreamcast had just 2 years ago.
Dreamcast.
Yeah,
That's a
that'll be
long
minute.
time away from now, though. That ain't going to happen anytime soon. So, what can I keep occupied with up until that point, David?
Oh, dude, you want to talk about some video games? You want
I
to talk
do.
about some video games that will keep you occupied? Let's talk about the Occupation, which releases this week for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Fuck
God
you,
damn
you
it,
set
I
me
hate
up. That's going to happen. Eat
I
a
hate you
dick,
so
bro. I don't really care. Dude, Occupation is the name of a real video game that comes out this week.
It looked cool. I was offered a code to take a look at it, but I just don't have the time for it, unfortunately. It does look good.
Dude, this is an indie adventure game. It's a first-person kind of mystery stealth game. You play as like an investigative journalist, and you're kind of on a mystery to figure some shit out on a specific day in October in 1987. And it's kind of fascinating.
Specific date.
Now, the reason it's so specific is because every action you take in the game takes time, real-world time. An hour in the game is an hour in the real world.
Huh.
You only have so much time to figure out what's going to happen and try and resolve, basically, like, the issue. I'm not going to, like, get into anything because it's really built to be a story-driven, mystery-style game. So take a look at a trailer, get an idea of what you're looking at. If you're interested in, like, story, mystery, stealthy adventure games, it might be for you. If walking simulators with story aren't your thing, stay the fuck away, because don't expect, like, gunfights and crazy shit like that. But I think it looks like perfect stream bait. I would love to see this game. I have no interest in buying it, which sucks because, I don't know, it looks cool. I don't think I have the time.
No, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Not every game has to be for you.
I mean, I think they do need to be for me, but that's a whole nother podcast. Also coming out this week, Left Alive for PS4 and PC, a game that should have been for me. Fucking A. Left Alive, a game that has art design headed up by the guy that did the art for fucking Metal Gear Solid, set in the Front Mission universe, a game series we cannot get a fucking game in universe that does justice to the original fucking video games. Anyway, Left Alive, instead of being Front Mission fucking 5 or 6 or whatever one I actually want, is a survival.
6, 5 technically came out, but it was Japan only.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't count for me. Is a brand new survival action shooter that tells a human story of survival There's 3 different protagonists. You play in the front mission world. There are giant robots. You don't get to do anything with them besides maybe try and run from them and
Now
not
that
die.
sounds awesome too, right? I love the idea of just being
It
a random
sounds-
civilian caught between this. It reminds me of like This War of Mine or something like that, and that was an amazing
That
game.
sounds great. There's like giant robots destroying humanity as far as you know, and you're just trying to make it through. Could be great. From what I understand, this game is just fucking busted. It's too difficult to play. There's no save points. And while originally you could stream gameplay of this game and it would just block cutscenes, Sony has blocked everything. You
Sony
cannot
or
stream.
Square.
I'm sorry, Square. That's a good, important distinction. Square has blocked all streaming of this game because it's so fucking bad. And if you're in Japan, this game is already fucking bargain bin. You can buy it for half off.
Right. This game might release in America this week, but it has been in Japan for at least a week now, and it is just getting trashed. Like, people are pissed. And it's a goddamn shame because I want Front Mission to come back as a franchise. I don't want Front
Desperately
Mission involved.
I was
want
so
Left Alive.
excited for this.
I want a strategy.
Dude, I was excited
mech
for Left Alive. The concept sounds amazing. I'm down. I'll play as some dude who's trying to survive in the Front Mission world, not in a giant robot. That's cool. I can deal with that. But not when it's broken and disappointing.
So yeah,
and it's
buyer
scoring like
beware on Left
50s out of
Alive
100.
Specifically, it sounds like it's a garbage game, but of course you might get some enjoyment out of it. Just really be cautious before you drop $60 on Left Alive.
Yep, unfortunately. We have Eternity, The Last Unicorn for PS4 and PC, right? You love unicorns. You love Norse mythology. Here you go. This is a
okay,
classic.
so correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember unicorns having anything to do with Norse mythology.
Fuck no, they don't. I'm pretty sure there's also not elves in Norse mythology.
No, there are elves in Norse mythology.
Are there? Like traditional, like Tolkien-esque elves?
No, but they are elves. There's like a light elf and I mean, you play God of War. Come on, man.
Yeah, but I'm not used to like straight up token elves in Norse shit or whatever. Anyway, this is an indie action adventure game. You travel through locations. The lore's, I'm gonna say, loosely based on Norse mythology. You meet all kinds of fancy characters, and you are the chosen one, who can go save the last unicorn.
I was about to ask,
because...
are you the last unicorn, or are you trying to find the last unicorn?
So there's like 4 unicorns, and they're famous, I guess.
Whoa, hold on.
So the unicorn...
Stop. There are 4 unicorns.
No, wait. Let me get there. Okay, so there was like 4 unicorns, right? They're like the unicorn. They're like the Beatles of the unicorns.
Okay.
And then all of them died but one.
So they got Yoko.
And that one, and then that one went on to have a solo career, and it went fucking horribly wrong. And now it's locked up somewhere and can't get anything done. And you are the one surviving elf that can save that unicorn. And that's what you're here to do. Eternity, The Last Unicorn.
All I'm going to say is that
we're
2 bullets away from a unicorn reunion.
Jeez.
I'm sorry, 1 bullet, because there's only 1.
Anyway, also sweet Beat Cop. Beat Cop is where you beat cops. No, that's not what happened. PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. This is an indie adventure. It's an 80s styled adventure game that's based on like old school 80s police dramedies.
Yeah, I get a strong Police Quest vibe from this. If you ever played the old Sierra text adventures, or not, the quasi-text adventures like Space Quest or Police Quest or Quest for Camelot, I think was another one. This reminds me of that.
I'll do my best. You are Jack Kelly, and you've been framed for murder. Now, as a regular B cop, you have to find out who did that.
Wait a minute. Okay, I gotta stop you
That's from
again.
their fucking release. It's so
you
great.
Are a detective that gets framed for murder, and instead of going to jail, they just demote you to beat cop.
Yep.
Okay.
It's in Brooklyn. It's definitely like a fucking dramedy. It looks ridiculous. If you're into like old 80s police shows, this is probably right up your alley. If you're born in the 90s, probably stay the fuck away. This will do nothing for you.
So is this more Sledgehammer or Cop Rock?
Fuck, dude.
Do you know what either one of those 2 are? They might be before your time.
I don't know. Police Academy meets Chips.
Sledgehammer is definitely Police Academy. Cop Rock. Okay, I'm going to go on a little side tangent here. Cop Rock was a show that came out in the early 90s. It starred the guy that played Cohagen from Total Recall, the bad guy. Also, Dick Jones from RoboCop.
Let's just go with old school Magnum PI.
Cop Rock was a procedural show that was also a musical.
God, I don't care about that at all. That
So
sounds
they
like
would,
garbage.
just YouTube Cop Rock for some truly cringy gold.
Or don't do that and instead play Attack of the Earthlings on PS4 and Xbox One. This game's been on Steam a while. It's very positively reviewed over there. It's an indie turn-based strategy game. So, like classic turn-based strategy. You guys know what XCOM is? You know that's a turn-based strategy.
I think we know.
You got an idea. You're fighting a dysfunctional intergalactic energy corporation and its employees in a tactical stealth game that has strategic gameplay and dark comedy. But it's a single-player, like story-driven game. It actually looks kind of funny and interesting. And as a rule, turn-based strategy games are. I give them more of a pass than I give other game types, just because I enjoy that style of gameplay more than a lot of other things. So I'm kind of interested in this, but it might not be for you. And if you don't like turn-based strategies, maybe you like baseball, huh? RBI Baseball 2019 coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. You can play as 165 plus different all-time baseball greats. So not just all the new kids on the block. Even though the game has every official 2019 uniform for all 30 teams and even more gear and equipment options than ever before in any RBI game ever released.
Can I play as Ty Cobb and just show up drunk and surly everywhere?
I fucking hope so. But let's talk about the more important part of RBI Baseball and the fact that the original RBI Baseball game came out in the fucking arcades released by Atari.
I do remember it. I was around for it.
It's just classy, dude. Atari RBI Baseball came out in September of 1987.
The local pizza place called Peter Piper Pizza, when I was growing up, had this arcade cabinet.
Yep, I would say it's the longest running baseball game, except for the fact that they stopped making them in 1995 and then rebooted the series with RBI Baseball 14 in, guess what, 2014. But they've self-released one ever since 2014. There you go.
Sounds good.
It's a baseball series that's not made by EA.
Or PlayStation. The show.
Or Sony. Yeah, it's not the show.
EA hasn't actually had the MLB license for a while. It's all Sony now.
Oh, well, shit. Shows what I know about baseball. Also coming out, we have Crimson Keep for PS4 and Xbox One. This is a first-person action RPG. Okay, this game really looks like a roguelike to me. Okay. But nothing in like the press materials that I gleaned from the internet or the trailers told me in explicit details that it was a roguelike. That's just kind of the vibe I get from watching it. So I could be wrong. It could be just like a full-on RPG. But I don't know. Maybe do a little research, because if you hate roguelikes, it's going to piss you off. There's monsters, traps, treasure. You're trying to locate the sunken remains of an ancient castle and cleanse it of evil. It has a very unique style. And it could be fun. Like I said, it's first person. You hack and slash. It looks like you got some spells to throw around. But it's almost cartoony. I don't want to say Borderlands cartoony, but it's somewhere in that vein. So there you go. Take a look. Crimson Keep. Get your slash on, I guess. Kirby's Epic Yarn hits 3DS this week. This game is old as a motherfucker. It's Kirby, but you're Yarn Kirby, not regular Kirby. You're Yarn. So
now, hold
you
on.
can't
Is Kirby's Epic Yarn old? Is this a remake of another Kirby game, or is it just that Kirby's been around forever?
No, Kirby's Epic Yarn came out on the fucking Wii 8 years ago.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, fair enough.
Kirby's Epic Yarn came out on the Wii U 4 years ago. Kirby's Epic Yarn is now on 3DS. It releases this week. If you like Kirby, you already know what the fuck this is. If you don't, you're probably not going to buy it anyway. And instead, we can all join together and talk about what's probably the most important fucking video game releasing this week. Devil May Cry 5. That's not DMC 2, you fucking assholes. No, a bona fide sequel to the original Devil May Cry series. Devil May Cry 5 hits this week for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The Ultimate Devil Hunter is back in style. Every fucking video I watch of this game makes me more and more damn excited for it. If you've never heard of Devil May Cry, it is a third-person action-adventure game set to a heavy metal soundtrack where you slash the fuck out of some demons. Sometimes you turn into one yourself. We have at least 2 playable characters in here. Good. And I can't fucking wait, dude. This game looks tight.
Dante and Nero are both in it. I believe there's a third playable character as well, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Virgil?
No, not Virgil. It is not Virgil. It is, I think, dude in a hat.
Dude that doesn't have an arm.
That's Nero.
Oh, dude that has both of his arms. That isn't Dante.
That's the guy. I don't know
That's
who it is.
That's the guy. That's the fucking guy.
I like me some Devil May Cry games. Except the second one. I think we can all agree the second one was kind of
Yep.
I like
DMC.
I like
DMC.
DMC.
DMC happened, and a lot of people liked it.
I get why fans are pissed.
Yeah. At least
But
they didn't
I
call
liked
it Devil May Cry 5 though,
Yeah.
which let us hear.
So it's definitely looking solid. Earl Stoke, thank you for showing up as well, by the way. However,
Hey, buddy.
you are showing up at the end of the show because we just get new releases,
Wait,
which means
you
we're
showed up
finished.
late. What do you think about Devil May Cry 5? Huh?
While we're waiting for that response to come in, this has been GamePoints episode 164. If you enjoyed what you see here and you want to support the show in any way, please feel free to follow, like, subscribe, throw bits at. If you're sitting on an Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime sub account, feel free to spend it here. I definitely appreciate it. But if you don't use it somewhere, it does just go to waste if you just sit on it. Make sure you give your favorite streamer some love. We do stream every Monday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here at twitch.tv/GamePoints. But if you can't make it live and join in the conversation, you can watch old shows over at youtube.com/GamePointsPC, where old shows, reviews, some ramblings will go up from time to time. Also, tune in here for streaming throughout the week whenever I feel like it. If you want to be part of the greater community, feel free to join our Discord. Links provided down below, regardless of where you're watching us at. And you can also get announcements, gaming news, all that good stuff. If you want to follow the show on Twitter, you can do so at GamePoints PC. You can follow myself, Steve Brett, at CapitalistPig21. And you can follow David Smith there at Palshlife_Satori. Once again, this has been GamePoints episode 163. Thank you all for watching. And until next week, we're out of here.